Some legends don't need rituals or spells, just a whisper, just a name spoken too many times. Tonight, we're exploring the creatures that appear when you talk about them. Stay until the end to find out how you can avoid summoning these mythical creatures by accident. The Popobawa, the shadow of Zanzibar. It began on the island of Pemba, off the coast of Tanzania. People started hearing wings brushing against their roofs in the middle of the night. Doors creaked open, even when locked. A smell of sulfur filled the air. Then came the whispers of something invisible, watching from the shadows. They called it Popobawa, which means batwing in Swahili. According to the stories, it visits homes where people mock its existence. It listens when you say you don't believe. The fear spread so quickly that entire villages began sleeping outside in groups, with fires burning all night. Because the Popobawa, they said, dislikes laughter and disbelief. It wants acknowledgement. To speak its name too many times is to call its attention, and once it knows your name, it never forgets. Some claim the presence comes in waves, every few years. But even when it's gone, the people stay cautious. Because you never truly know if it left, or if it's just waiting for someone new to say the name aloud. The Kuchisake-Onna, the woman with the mask. In Japan, children once whispered about a woman who roamed the streets at night. Her face was hidden behind a medical mask, her footsteps silent on the pavement. She would stop strangers and ask, "Am I beautiful?" If they said yes, she would remove her mask, revealing a wide, unnatural smile that stretched from ear to ear. Then, she would ask again, and no matter what you answered next, she'd make sure you looked just like her. The legend of Kuchisake-Onna began as a cautionary tale in the late 1970s, a blend of folklore and urban panic. But what's strange is how her story spread. One child told another, who told their parents, who told their friends, until the whole country knew her name. Even now, people say she appears wherever her story is told too vividly, that the mere act of describing her brings her closer, like she's listening from somewhere behind the words, waiting for someone to believe just a little too much. Bloody Mary, the mirror's secret. The most famous accidental summoning begins in a dark room with nothing but a mirror and a candle. You say her name 3 times, sometimes 13, and you wait. It sounds like a childish dare, the kind whispered at sleepovers or tested in school bathrooms. But the ritual has existed in one form or another for centuries. Before she was Bloody Mary, she was Mary Worth, Mary Tudor, Hail Mary, even Queen Mary. Each culture attached a new story, a new face, a new reason for her to appear. Some said she reveals your future, others that she reflects your fears. But everyone agreed on one thing: once you call her, something always answers. Mirrors have long been believed to be gateways, not to another world, but to the one that overlaps ours. The space where reflection and reality meet. Every time you stare too long into a mirror, your reflection stares back a little differently. Maybe that's why this story still lingers. Not because people want to believe in ghosts, but because deep down, we all wonder what's really looking back. Zozo, the spirit of the board. It started with a simple tool, a flat board with letters and numbers. Most people know it as a way to talk to spirits, but in truth, no one knows who or what actually listens. In the late 20th century, people began reporting the same name appearing over and over again during these sessions. Z-O-Z-O. The planchette would glide across the letters with unnatural speed, spelling it again and again. Zozo, Zozo, Zozo. The stories that followed were never the same, but they shared a pattern. Strange sounds, flickering lights, whispers in the corners of rooms. The more the name was said, the more active it became. People described feeling drained or watched, even when they stopped using the board. Experts called it mass suggestion, a shared illusion. But what makes the Zozo legend so unsettling is how consistent the experiences are, across countries, languages, and years. It's as if the entity behind the name doesn't belong to any single story, but exists in the spaces between them. Maybe it was never summoned at all. Maybe it was just waiting for a name to answer to. The slit-mouthed thing. Modern myths that breathe. What makes some legends different is how alive they seem. New ones appear in online forums, social media, and videos. But their nature is the same. The more people share, the stronger the story gets. It's like feeding something that lives on attention. There are tales of entities that appear after a video about them is watched 3 times, of figures that stand behind you when you listen to a certain voice recording, of whispers that start with a joke but end in silence. Every time a story spreads, it grows teeth. Every repost, every retelling is an invitation. We call them memes or urban legends, but maybe there's something older, myths reborn through screens and circuits, finding new ways to reach us. You don't need candles or rituals anymore, just curiosity, just enough to make you press play. The jinn, the whispering fire. Long before Western folklore spoke of demons, the deserts of the Middle East told of the jinn, beings made of smokeless flame, older than humanity itself. They live unseen, moving in the wind, listening to the living. Most are harmless, but some enjoy games. According to ancient texts, saying their name aloud too often draws their attention. Not because they wish to harm, but because they are curious. They listen when people speak about them, just as we listen to stories about them. Travelers claimed the jinn could be heard in the dunes at night, voices that sounded like family calling from far away. If you answered, you invited them closer. If you ignored them, they eventually faded with the wind. To this day, many in the Middle East avoid whistling after sunset or talking about the unseen, because even a whisper can echo in places we cannot see. The Mothman, the omen of the skies. In the 1960s, a quiet town in West Virginia began reporting sightings of a creature with large wings and glowing red eyes. It appeared near bridges, factories, and dark roads. They called it the Mothman. Witnesses claimed that seeing the creature was followed by misfortune. But the most unsettling part wasn't the sightings. It was what came after. People began dreaming of the same thing, a figure watching them from the sky. And once one person dreamed it, others started dreaming it too. It's as though thinking of the Mothman was enough to bring it closer, like the idea itself had become alive. Some say that's what an omen really is, not a warning from above, but something we create together by believing it, the power of belief. Across every culture, every century, the pattern is the same. A story begins as a whisper. People repeat it, curious or skeptical, until the whisper grows louder, and eventually, the story starts to breathe, whether it's a face in the mirror, a shadow in the corner, or a name that echoes back when spoken. These tales remind us of one thing. The spirit world has power and is nothing you should play with. When enough people speak, the spirit becomes a shape. When enough people share it, the spirit becomes a presence. And when we speak its name, even in disbelief, we give it form. So maybe the real danger isn't the creature itself, but our infinite curiosity to touch subjects which are better left untouched. Subscribe for more creepypastas and eerie tales.